Okay, we are all good here. All right. So, good evening, everyone, and thanks so much, Dave. Really appreciate that. I so appreciate the introduction, and just want to say thanks for having me along today. And an honor it is to get to be here on Mindset Mondays with all of you people. I can see all of you here. It's amazing. So many of you joining in today. Here to work on yourselves, here to work on your own mind, and I love that. And I just want to acknowledge all of you straight up for how amazing that is in a day and age where there is a lot of mindlessness and there's a lot of chaos in the world right now. Here, all of you are on a Monday evening, showing up to do something with yourself, with your own mind, something productive. There's 100 million other things you could be doing right now with your mind, such as watching Netflix or this, that, the other, just being distracted in the modern day and age of disconnection and technology. But here you are choosing to show up. So I just want to start by honoring and acknowledging all of you. And yeah, thank you, Dave, as well. David is a good friend of mine, and he was at once for a little while, he was my mindset coach, and he played a really beautiful, pivotal role in helping me to take some really powerful next steps in my own personal journey with my own mindset. And you know that the work that we did together, that fruit has paid dividends. And to this day, I can really trace back a lot of the benefits that I've gained in my own life, of my own mindset, my own ability to rise to the occasion, to grow to life, to dream and believe in a bigger, a more expansive future and reality. And I can really trace a lot of learning of that and formation through to working with Dave. And yeah, you're just a beautiful guy with a beautiful heart, and I'd love to get to work with you. So thank you for having me here. With that being said, I'm really excited to share with you all a practice this evening. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be completely authentic and honest with you guys. Authenticity is one of my highest values. This is a new dynamic and a new context for me to be facilitating in. So I would ask for your patience and your grace straight off the bat that if there are some little technological bumps along the way, I just would love just your patience and understanding, as this is a new space in which I'm facilitating this. So thank you in advance for your patience and your kindness. With that being said, I'd love to start with a little extended drop in just to help us really attune and just to really come into the breath. So, with that being said, let's get some music playing. So, we're going to do a short drop in, just a few minutes, and we're going to do a breathing technique called coherence breathing, which is an equal 5 second in, 5 second out breathing. Now, you don't have to do that length, but the invitation is there to do that. So let's get the sound playing here. Okay. So in hearing the sound right now, what I want to invite you to do is just to close your eyes. Make sure your body's nice and comfortable, sitting or lying comfortably wherever you are, and just drop your awareness into your body. Now you can hear the sound. It makes two noises, an in sound and an out sound. What I want you to do is to start to try and match your inhale and then your exhale with the sound that you can hear right now. Breathing in and breathing out. This breath nice and smooth. Again, if this is a bit of a long inhale exhale for you, that's absolutely fine. You can just shorten your breath, whatever feels comfortable. Breathing in and letting go. Breathing in, filling the lungs with air, and letting it go. Nice and see if you can keep the breaths even, gentle, naturally flowing from one breath into the next. And you just begin to drop that little bit deeper into this present moment, into connecting with your breath, this powerful tool that is accessible to all of us. just invite you now to let go of the stresses and all of the worries of the day, just softening that little bit more every exhale, feeling your breath gently move in and out, in, letting go, breathing in and out. Just 60 more seconds. Breathing in, letting go. Smooth and even. 30 more seconds. And out. One final breath here. Let that go. And just come to stillness, back to your natural breath. And for this next moment, remaining with your eyes closed in this state of presence, now check in. How do I feel in this moment? How do I feel? Noticing whatever comes up for you right now, the thoughts in your mind, the feelings and sensations of your physical body, the emotional tone of your state of being. Hold all of that in your awareness. Just check in right now. Offer yourself the grace to say that it's okay to feel how you feel right now. Can you just accept? Don't deny it or push it away or try to do anything other than just be with it, with yourself. And all together, I just invite you to take a nice big deep breath in through your nose, breathing in. And a nice relaxed exhale, let it go. Ah, you can open your eyes slowly, gently. Just bring a little bit of movement into your body, just in your seat, as you come back to wakefulness and into the room. You might even just look around in the space that you're in right now, wherever you are at home or otherwise, and just notice where you are. Notice the environment that you found yourself in. We are animals as human beings, and as such, we are always assessing for safety. It can be a powerful practice to just take stock of where you are at any given moment as the animal that you are, to just reassure your nervous system that you are in fact safe. So, welcome to this practice. I'm going to give you a short talk on the breath here. So, every day, over 20,000 times a day, you and I all breathe, inhale, exhale. And how many of those breaths in total do we take consciously? Are we aware of on a daily basis? I wonder how many. It's probably not that many, I'd say, on the whole. The breath is a remarkably powerful tool for mindset. I'm going to link this into mindset and talking about it. And how can breath and breath work, and particularly this experience that I'm going to lead you through today, how can that help to positively affect your mindset? And the way I want to do that is to give you a bit of a basic understanding of the mechanism behind how breathing, specifically this technique, but how breath in general, affects the state of mind and can therefore affect how we perceive the world and the lens that we look through, the state of our consciousness. So we're going to go back to a little bit of the basic physiology. I'm not going to get too bogged down in too many details. I'm going to give you a bit of a high and brief view of how it works. Many people, when it comes to breath work, tend to say the same thing to me. They say, well, this that oversaturation, you're breathing in so much air, it's all that oxygen getting in. And it's not. That's a misunderstanding. Really, the power of breath work actually comes down to what is generally largely misunderstood as a molecule in our bodies, carbon dioxide, CO2. You may have been taught at school that it's just a waste product. Trees breathe it in from us, we breathe it out, we exhale it. And it is, it's a byproduct of metabolic processes right throughout the body. But it plays a much more vital role than you and I may have previously thought. And that is to say that not only really does carbon dioxide actually responsible for carrying oxygen in our blood streams into the tissues and cells of our body, it's actually the main carrier and distributor of oxygen. We need it. But it is a profound modulator of our state of being. So, what do I mean? So, when you hold your breath, for example, what happens? Eventually, your body starts to sort of convulse and it starts to automatically force you to breathe. That's because CO2 in your bloodstream is naturally rising as a result of the waste or the byproduct of metabolic processes happening in a second by second basis. So CO2 goes up. Baroreceptors in your brain detect that level and they freak out and they say, breathe, idiot, you're going to die right now. Breathe. It makes you breathe. It is completely autonomic. The opposite, breathing. So, breathing heavily, especially, the more we breathe out, the more we blow off CO2. And particularly deep breathing expels and reduces the amount of carbon dioxide in your bloodstream at any moment. Now, what happens when we reduce the amount of CO2 in our bloodstream? Well, we shift the pH of the bloodstream. So this is called respiratory alkalosis. So the alkalinity of the blood goes up, and that has a cascading effect onto a few different things. There's a couple of things in particular. One is that your blood vessels in your brain, your cerebral vessels, they constrict, so vasoconstriction, which means reduced blood flow to certain parts of your brain. Now, that doesn't mean that your brain is starved of oxygen, that would cause brain damage, but it does mean that it alters what's happening in the brain and it's affecting different areas of the brain. One of the things that it does, and it can do, the lights just went off in here, that's interesting, is that the lost my train of thought there. So the executive functions of our brains, that is to say, the top-down processing of our normal state of consciousness, can be reduced, or the state of being can be shifted from executive thinking, planning, worrying about the future and about the past. And it can open us up into what's called salience, which is present moment awareness, that is sensation of the body, of the here and now. So physiologically, by deeply breathing and expelling carbon dioxide, you're actually physiologically forcing your brain to chill out, basically, and to get present. You could say it's a form of forced mindfulness. So that's one of the huge effects that this state can have on the brain. And in addition to that, what else is happening? So in the bloodstream, you've also got you have lots of nerves throughout the nervous system. When the alkalinity of the blood increases, it creates an environment where free-floating calcium ions can no longer do the job that they usually do, which is that they coat your nerve cells a bit like a wire gets coated with like rubber. And if you don't have a wire that's coated and it's live, what does it do? It sparks. So you may notice in this session, now this is not going to be a particularly long session, but you might notice a bit of this happening. This is called tetany, and it's basically a result of those nerves being exposed and they're sparking, so they're firing. So you get muscular contraction that's not exactly voluntary, it's involuntary, and you start to get a bit of the purse of the lips. Now, that usually happens in extended breathwork sessions, so I don't particularly expect you to get a lot of it today, but you might. And again, I'm going to guide you through how to do this breathwork practice in a moment. But just to give you an underlying mechanism of the breath itself. So we've got sparking nerves and we've got excitation in the nervous system. We have a downregulated executive function in the brain, and we have an open state. We have salience, and then we have the autonomic nervous system as well. Probably the final part of this, which, if you think about it, like states in your everyday being. What do you associate deep, fast breathing with? Things such as maybe sex or aggression or exercise. It's arousal. So it's activation of your sympathetic branch, that is your activation, your excitement, part of your autonomic nervous system. The opposite is true as well. Long, slow, controlled breathing is more downregulating or parasympathetic. So by breathing deeply and increasing the speed of the breath and you could say the aggression of the breath, we're also creating arousal as well. We're creating excitability in the nervous system. So all of this together can lead to a very interesting set of altered states of the mind. Now, like I say, we're going to get into preparing for the actual breath in just a second. But that's just to give you a bit of an overview. Now, I've seen some pretty interesting things in my time when it comes to breath work. So I'm excited for you to experience this all today. My hope and my intention for this practice for you all is to gain both a tool you can use in your everyday life. Of course, you've probably done lots of breathing with David, but to give a bit of a different tool, that one that maybe can cut a little bit deeper, and one that can also get a little bit deeper under the skin when it comes to cultivating a mindset, a kind of positive mindset of growth, of abundance, of openness, of creativity. And I'm going to lead you through that practice now. So let's prepare for this actual session now. I'm going to guide you through a breathing method called the breathing cold method that was taught to me by my teacher Alex in Bali. This method works through a combination of a few things. It's going to be 3 short rounds of breathing with a few breath holds in between the rounds. So the way it works is, the first thing, we're going to do conscious connected breathing. This is basically full breaths where there's no pause between the inhale nor the exhale. So we're all the way in and all the way out and not leaving that gap in the middle. This is to keep it connected, continuous, constant, and conscious, and so that you can stay present with that breath the whole time. Now, in terms of the technique of that, I really want you to try and engage your diaphragm, your big muscles down here, breathing from the belly. Now, as we go through the round, I'm going to invite you to change breathing between the nose and the mouth. And it's yours as a tool and you could say the nose is like your brake pedal, that's your slowing down. Your mouth is your accelerator. The mouth is linked to the sympathetic nervous system, that is the activation. So if you want to increase the intensity or the kind of the aggression of an experience, breathe through the mouth. If you want to relax it, breathe through your nose. So that's to give you a tool there. Now, the how to breathe. So, like I said, belly, chest, head. And then on the exhale, drop the breath. I don't want you to force the breath. I want you to drop the breath like an effortless exhale. Altogether, that looks something like this. Join with me. Have a little try. Let's breathe together. Here we go. Breathing in. Perfect. Well done. So that's just to give you a bit of an idea. So it's a nice, deep, expansive breath in where you're breathing from that belly up to the chest and even pulling up to the head, and then you're letting it go on the exhale. But before you stop at the bottom, straight back into your next breath, okay? So conscious connected breathing. We're going to breathe like that for about 2 minutes per round. It's not going to be a long time. They're going to be quite quick rounds. After you finish the 2 minutes of breathing, I'm going to cue you into your first breath hold. This is going to be an exhale breath hold. So I'll cue you to breathe in all the way and then to relax, exhale to neutral air pressure. So there's no pressure pulling in or out in the lungs. And then we hold and we stay there. You get to experience the bliss of pure stillness where not even your breath is interrupting. The only thing you may feel is your heartbeat. It's a beautiful, serene thing to experience. So we'll hold this. I'm not going to tell you for how long because it's not about the numbers. I just want you to be present with the experience. If you do need to breathe before I give the cue, then all you do is just take maybe a breath out and a breath in again and just reset, or just come back to natural breathing, whatever you feel. Okay. Once we've completed that breath hold, we're then going to go into another breath hold. To get there, we're going to expel the rest of the breath, emptying the lungs completely, and then a nasal shoot. So we're going to breathe in through the nose, right from the bottom all the way to the top. And then at the very top of the breath, you're going to hold, and we're going to do a little bit of a contraction. We're going to do a bit of a body tension squeeze. So imagine that your spine is like a pipe with fluid, and you're going to try and squeeze that fluid up towards the head and knock on the door of your forehead, your third eye, your pineal gland, whatever you want to refer to this little area. It's a special little area, this one, associated with insight, clarity, epiphany, awakening, all of these beautiful things. So that would look like this. I'm going to squeeze the muscles around the spine. So my bum, my abs, my back, my shoulder blades, my shoulders. I'm going to really think about all these things, squeeze, 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 and I'm going to send the eyes to the back of the head, tongue to the roof of the mouth, and hold that tension. Really hold it there for only about 5 to 10 seconds. It's going to be intense. Once we've gone through that, we're going to hold the breath, but relax the body. So we're keeping that breath held, that pressure in the lungs, but we're relaxing the body. Hold there for a few moments, and then we're going to exhale, and that's a round completed. So that's the series. Now, don't worry if you don't remember all of that. I'm going to talk you and guide you through every single part of that process. Now, hopefully, with the music and Zoom and timing and technology, this works out to be pretty well. I'm going to trust that as I hear the music working, the timing works well for you as well. That typically should be how it works, though I know there is a slight delay. So, with that being said, like I mentioned, modulating your experience over and above really probably everything else aside from the tool of breath work, safety is the number one thing. Now, that can mean both physiological, physical safety, but also emotional and contextual safety and feeling empowered like this is your experience. So, know this if at any time your experience becomes too intense or something's going on or a physical sensation is overwhelming, just come back to the nose, slow the breathing down, and find a safe place to touch on your body. Something like this. You feel grounding, you feel held. If it does start to open up or something happens, okay? Things that you can expect to help you as well throughout this journey. You can probably expect tingling sensations or changes in body temperature. Your state of mind will begin to change. You may have a quietening of the mind. You may have thoughts come into the mind. You might have altered states. You may have visions. I've had some people report some pretty profound things through this technique. I've had people experience visiting other dimensions. I've had people report deceased loved ones and their spirits coming to actually be with them in person. These are very real stories, not things that are fabricated. These things spoken often with tears in their eyes, powerful things indeed, and other as well. Or you might just have a simple sense of peace, groundedness, clarity, and openness, typically. You may also have some emotion come up too as well. And I want you to know that if that's the case, I personally, that's my favorite experience when I get to have the wash of emotion just move through my body. So if that happens to you, try not to fight it and resist it. Just surrender and let it happen. Be really open to whatever your journey brings to you. That's another important part of this experience. Expectation. I invite you now to let go of expectation completely. Let it go completely out the window. So you don't force this to be something that it needs to be. Just let it be whatever it is, okay? And trust that your body, your breath, the intuitive wisdom that creates and emanates and continues to run this whole crazy thing called the human body that is you and me and the mind, it knows what it's doing. You can trust in that innate wisdom. Really, with the breath, what that is, we're crossing the boundary between conscious wakefulness and unconscious body mind. Okay, so we are opening the door for that slightly. So, like I say, trust whatever comes through, try not to fight it and add resistance to it. If you need to modulate the experience, touch the body, slow the breath down, come back to the nose. Okay. With that being said, is there anything else, Dave, that should be mentioned or you want to add at all in anything? Just want to check in if we're all good to get into it. Perfect. Okay. So let's get ready for our experience. So I invite you now just to take a second, consider your environment. Hopefully you have privacy. That would be ideal. And there's no one going to interrupt you. I invite you to find a position that's comfortable, that you can relax. Your body can be there. Seated, great. Lying down, also fine. Love lying down. Note too as well, one disclaimer I just want to say is, if possible, it's great if you can have your camera on. The reason I say this is just purely as a facilitator and safety, is that what can happen with breathwork, you can lose consciousness, and that can happen. So just as a means of health and safety, I would ask you to share that. Now, that's completely your choice as to what you want to do with that. That's just me offering that and letting you know that, okay? Breathwork is an incredibly safe practice. In fact, the only times that there have been any reported incidents are when people have been breathing, doing breathwork in water or whilst driving machinery. So you're very safe in this type of environment. If you do lose consciousness, your body will wake you up. It will automatically take over and you'll come back to consciousness very shortly, okay? So let's get settled in for the experience. So find yourself that comfortable position. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and close down your eyes. You'll begin to start to hear the music playing. Okay, we're going to start our first round of breathing. I invite you to breathe in tempo with the music. In this instance, that would sound something like this. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, and out. So start breathing now, connecting your inhale and your exhale. I invite you to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, if that's accessible to you. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Keep that going. Nice, full inhale, exhale. Use the rhythm of the music to guide you. Focusing on that inhale and that exhale. No pause between the breaths. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. You're doing great. You're over halfway there. Connecting that breath, no pause between inhale or exhale. Belly, chest, head. Feeling the lungs from the bottom to the top. Remember to drop that exhale. In, out, in, out. You're doing great. In 10 seconds, we're going to move through to our first inhale to exhale breath hold. So here we go. We're going to breathe all together, breathing in 3, 2, 1. And here we go. All together, breathing in, full breath to the top. And with a relaxed sigh, let that breath go. Finding neutral air pressure. When you arrive there, hold. Holding. Feel your heart beating, blood running through your veins. Feel the stillness inside of you. Hold that breath. You're doing great. Remember, if you need to breathe before I give the cue, that's fine. Just take a breath and you can either rejoin the hold or come back to natural breathing. Now together, we're going to move to our full exhale to nasal shoot inhale. So expelling the rest of the breath here in 3, 2, 1, breathing out. Now shoot the breath in through the nose. Shoot, shoot, shoot. All the way to the top. Now hold the breath. Squeeze your glutes, your abs, your back, your shoulder blades, shoulders up, eyes to the back of the head, tongue to the roof of the mouth. Now squeeze, 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 squeeze. Hold that pressure, hold that pressure, hold that pressure. Hold. Hold the breath. Relax the body. The breath. Relax the body. Enjoy the bliss. And now with a nice relaxed sigh, let that breath go. Ah. For the next minute, just be in this moment. Just rest. Nothing to do, nowhere to be. Noticing the thoughts in your mind, feelings in your body, sensations. Welcoming everything. Just resting. 15 more seconds. We're going to move into our second round of breathing. You'll notice in this second round, the tempo of the music is slightly faster. The breathing in this round would sound like this. You could also go double time if you want. It would sound like this. Okay, when you're ready, let's begin our second round of breathing. Use the rhythm of the music now. Let's go. In and out. In and out. In and out. In. And if you want to try double time, you can try it. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. Finding your own pace, your own tempo. The music is just a guide. Breathe at a pace that feels right to you. Ensure you're connecting the breath. No pause between inhale or exhale. Straight into that next breath. Keep it circular. Keep it deep from the belly, the chest to the head. Maybe allowing the spine to move in this round. As you open up your diaphragm, your chest, your breathing apparatus, that bit more deeply this round. In, out, in, out. You're doing great. Keep this going. Just 40 more seconds here of this second round of breathing. Keep relaxing the exhale. Don't force the breath out. Drop the breath on the way out. 30 more seconds and you're doing great. Breath work, as it sounds, is work. So I encourage you to lean into the practice. If you feel a bit hesitant, just open up that bit more. Let the breath come in now. Use that belly, use that chest. Great work. In 10 seconds, we're going to move into our second set of breath holds, starting with our full inhale to relaxed exhale hold. Here we go. All together. Breathing in 3, 2, 1, and big breath in all the way to the top. And relaxed exhale, let it go. Find neutral air pressure in the lungs. Land there softly. When you land there, hold. Be completely still. Feel whatever you can feel. Surrendering just that bit more deeply to whatever your experience is bringing you right now. Doing great. Remember, if you need to breathe before I give the cue, that's okay. Just take a breath out Take another one in and hold again. 10 more seconds. We're going to go into that second breath hold. Full exhale to nasal inhale, shoot. Here we go. Breathing out together in 3, 2, 1. Exhale the breath. Empty the lungs and shoot the breath in through the nose. All the way to the top. Now hold, squeeze your glutes, your abs, your back, your shoulder blades, shoulders up, eyes to the back of the head, tongue to the roof of the mouth. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Hold the breath, relax the body. Hold the breath, relax the body. Enjoy the bliss. And with a sigh, let it go. As you fall that little bit deeper. Resting here for this minute. Nothing to do, nowhere to be. Aware of the fact that you are altering your state of consciousness as we speak. Opening your conscious mind, the realm of the unconscious mind. Notice what you notice. Let go of any resistance. Just be with this. We're going to come into our third round, of breathing. Coming back now as you prepare for our third and final round of this breathwork practice. Hearing the music. In this one, the rhythm would sound like this. 2 options. In, out. That's your slow one. In, and out. If you want to go double time. In, out. In, out. In. Choose your own adventure. Here we go. Starting our third round. When you're ready, let's breathe. In, and out. In, and out. Or double time. In, out, in, out, in, out, in. Keep it going and in. Connecting that breath. Last round here. Encouragement to go that little bit deeper. Expand the belly. Expand the chest. Pull that breath up to the head before you drop that breath. Can you breathe that bit deeper? Can you go that little further here? Remember, drop the breath. Don't force it. You're doing great. Keep this going. That's halfway there. 1 more minute to go. Connecting that breath. No pause between inhale, exhale. Last round now. Breath work is work. You have to work it. So let's go. Keep going. Keep flowing. Bottom to the top. Doing great. Stay present. Stay focused on that breath. All you have to do is breathe. Last 20 seconds of breathing here. Deepest breaths you've taken today. We're almost there. In 10 seconds, we come to our final set of breath holds, starting with our full inhale to exhale hold. Here we go, all together, taking a big deep breath in here in 3, 2, one, and everyone together. Full breath in. And with a relaxed sigh, exhale softly. Land in that neutral pocket. No pressure in, no pressure out, and hold. Stay as still as you can. If emotions are coming, don't resist, just go with them. Sensations, feelings, just allow it all. Be completely here. How deep into presence can you be? How in this moment can you get lost? Feel your heart beating, blood running through your veins. You're doing great. Remember, if you need to breathe before I give the cue, that's okay. Just take a breath out and a breath in and rejoin. You're almost there. 5 seconds, we move to our full exhale to nasal shoot. Here we go. Getting ready, expelling the breath in 3, 2, 1. All together, breathe it out. And shoot the breath in through the nose. All the way to the top. Now hold. Squeeze your glutes, your abs, your back, your chest. Squeeze the shoulders up, eyes to the roof of the head, tongue to the roof of the mouth. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Squeeze. Hold the breath, relax the body. Hold the breath, relax the body. With a sigh, let it go. Ah. Well done. Staying in this moment. You've arrived at the pinnacle of this experience. You have opened your unconscious mind. You have engaged the systems that allow for neuroplasticity. It's a precious and powerful moment. I invite you in this moment to bring to mind the version of yourself, the highest version of yourself. Visualize it, yes. But more than that, in your mind's eye and in your heart, I invite you to meet this version of you. This version is your future self. It is the very real, already existing potential for who and what you can be, human being in this lifetime. Not forcing this. Stay open. Allow this to play through your mind like a movie projector on a wall. Noticing what this future version of you looks like, feels like. If this is you. Maybe this future version of you has a message for you. Maybe you have some words that you've needed to hear. Whatever it is, follow your intuition. Allow the screen to play in your mind. Allow the interaction unfold naturally. What do you need to receive in the highest self? Where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with? What is the life that you live? Your highest expression, the deepest fulfillment, your complete actualization. Imagine it now. Claim this moment. Receive it into the very fiber of your cells. Wire it into your nervous system. Believe that this is possible. It is you, part of your mind. The potential in the field, infinite. One more minute left of this song, and at this moment, it's yours. Quiet for that moment. Bringing that vision to a close now. Just saying goodbye to your future self in whatever way you feel appropriate. Remembering that this version of you is always there. You can build a relationship with this part of you. Become more familiar, more acquainted with it. More resourced by the direction, the encouragement, the support that he or she may offer to you. Guidance. Walk this crazy thing we call the human experience. But gently letting that vision go now. Putting it away in the file system of your mind. Floats off into the distance, the ether of your body. Further and further away it goes. Bye. See you again. Coming back to this present moment now. Well done. You've arrived at the end of this practice. Ever so slowly and gently, you just start to invite some movement into that beautiful body of yours. Maybe just inviting a little bit more air. Wiggle of the fingers and the toes. Gentle movement of the neck. Softly and slowly, fluttering the eyes when you're ready and only when you feel. There is no rush. You might just want to bathe in the bliss of whatever you're experiencing for the second. Harvesting that feeling, remembering it. Take it away with you. You're back. You're all good. Thumbs up. Say, hey, Sam. Right here. I need to get your cameras off so I can't see that, but I'll trust that that's the case. Welcome back. Oh, I got some messages. All good. Thank you. Yep, thumbs up coming in. Beautiful. Thank you, guys. Okay, well, welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that experience. And I believe the plan now is to open up to just a bit of sharing. If anyone has anything they'd like to share about their experience, they may have had something special or profound or helpful or insightful happen there, or just anything. There's a space and opportunity here to open up and share. I'm just mindful of time, Dave. Just checking with you about that. We good to we good to share? Okay. I'm gonna take that as a yes. Oh, you messaged, yeah. Oh, I swapped to make you host. Yeah, got you. We'll do. Hang on. Okay, that's a good idea. Make the host the host.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much for that, Sam. That was amazing. I hope that everyone enjoyed it, that they got something out of it. I do like seeing my future self. He's always got something to say to me. Sometimes it's nice, and sometimes it's like a kick up the butt that I need. All right, excellent. So, the way that we'll do it today is I like to just give everyone a chance to share. We do have a lot of people here today. So, what I'm going to say is if you do want to share, there's a button down the bottom where you can put your hand up to share. So, you can share an insight. Maybe you want to share a profound thing that happened to you, or maybe you've got a question for Sam about breath work. And if you do need to jump off and head on into your night, that's okay as well. Thank you all for coming along. Something a bit different tonight. We've been running this group now for 3 years, and this is the first time, or 3.5 years nearly. And this is the first time that we've had a guest host. So, hoping to do more of these kind of sessions and have some other people share their wisdom and their modalities, which will be great. But first of all, yeah, if you want to raise your hand to share something or ask Sam a question, feel free to find that button down there. And yeah, I think it's the react button. Is that correct? Yes, raise a hand. And then you can unmute yourself once selected. Does anyone want to raise their hand? Oh, some beautiful messages coming through. I might just look at that. Very good. Excellent. No worries. Perfect. All right. First up, we've got Zane. Zane, if you want to unmute yourself and ask Sam a question, go for it.
First of all, thank you so much, David, for organizing Sam, and also Sam for taking time out from your very busy schedule, which I'm assuming because it was very impactful to me, in a sense that I did this for the first ever time. And what I felt was my body was getting very tight and my eyes were teary. And right towards the end, I actually saw my future self for the first time, with a clean shaves, really neatly groomed. So visualization really helped. And uh, like David mentioned, that it's always got something to say. And what my future self actually said to me was, "I'm waiting for you," and that was a really good reminder that okay, I'm on the right track and doing the right things, because if it had something to correct me, then it would have said it. But in this case, I'm taking it as keep going, just do more of what you are already doing, and you'll get there. So, really, genuinely wanting to express my gratitude to you both, and also with the entire structure, because people have their eyes closed and all we are relying on is your your instructions, your voice, and the music. Nothing else we can't see. So it was really well guided and impactful, and I'm gonna start to do this breathing more regularly now. I appreciate you both.
Excellent. Thanks so much for sharing, Zane. That was amazing. And I'm glad that you were able to visually see them. It's a very interesting experience when you first see your future self. I got shocked the first time I saw my future self because he was wearing a suit. I'm like, look at this douchebag. What are you doing? And he was actually a nice guy and he was very like conscientious and he was about the community and stuff, but he was becoming powerful in a way that was beneficial to all the people. But he still was joking around with me. So yeah, it's good fun when you start doing this work. Thanks so much for sharing, Zane. Anything you'd like to add to that, Sam?
Ah, beautiful notice. Thank you for your words, Zane. I really appreciate it, mate. And yeah, it can be such a potent thing. I'm reminded of a really profound story, maybe one of the most profound experiences that I've had another guy had. I personally, future self stuff, I don't know, it doesn't seem to actually happen that much. Ironically, given that I share this, I know how powerful it is, but I've not had it a lot happen, really, like little bits. But man, I did this session actually at a property investment boot camp back in December last year, and did this exactly what you just did here. Same thing. It was in person, and afterwards there's this guy, and he's like he's sort of real kind of a bit of a teariness about him, and he just sort of gave me a big hug and just wrapped me. I was like, "Thank you so much. That was beautiful." I was like, "Whoa, that was cool." Anyway, after the whole event finished, he came back and circled around. I was like, "Oh, I wonder what happened there." And he kind of grabbed me pretty excitedly, and he was like, he was he said, "Sam, you've no idea like what this means to me." And he pulled out his phone. His on his phone, his screensaver was a picture of his boy, and he said, "This is my son." And then he stopped and he just welled up completely, and he said, "He's non-verbal. He can't speak. I've never heard his voice my whole life." And he's like 7 years old or something. And he said, in that breathwork session, I heard his voice for the first time ever. And he said specific words to me, like you experienced their specific words. Funny enough, similar actually. He said to me in this session, he said, "Hold on, Dad. I just need more time." And his tears streaming down his face. And I was just like, whoa, oh man, I just told you to breathe, bro. Like, whoa, you know, oh my goodness. So, yeah, some pretty amazing experiences can come through, even just in these short practices. So, I'm really stoked for you, Zane, and thank you for your words, brother.
Excellent. Excellent. Thanks so much for sharing that, Sam. It was very powerful. Now, has anyone else got something that they'd like to share or maybe even a question? So if you want to raise your hand, you can do it. I think there's like the react button and then it says raise a hand. So I'll see if anyone else wants to ask a question. Oh, Alan, are you what? No, oh, I could see you talking. I was like, oh, okay. Have we got anyone? Oh, we're all trying to keep it to ourselves.
There, someone asked in the Ellis Vaughan in the comment section asked, how
Oh,
long are
okay.
the breathing sessions and breath hold times?
Yep.
Um, that is, I mean, in that session, you breathed for 2 minutes. You held your breath for 1 minute, 1 minute 10, and then 1 minute 30. So I always make them a little bit longer if you're curious to know. And the other bits in between were just sort of 10 to 30 seconds, basically pretty short. It's probably a good segue for something, a free gift that I have if any of you are interested to do this again. But I'll wait until we've done shares before we can go into that because it's cool. It's something you can practice and make your own.
Amazing. All right. I don't think we've got any more. How can I replay the recording? This recording will be put up on YouTube in the next couple of days, so you'll be able to go back and go through it at some point if you would like to. All right, excellent. I think I think that's it with the share. Oh, yep. Zane, yep, go for it if you want to ask a question.
I do apologize. Will be very quick and short. It's a question for Sam. As in, how did you get so passionate about breathing? Was it related to some experience you had which impacted, which was positively impacted, or when you started to do this breathing, and then you decided that, okay, I want to teach others how to do it as well.
Mm. It's a good question, man. And usually when I'm in a breathwork session, I tell my story because I like to frame the whole experience in my connection to the breath. Thank you for asking. There's a lot to the story, but I'll tell it in as summarized, condensed version as I can. But essentially, I found breathwork at the hardest and lowest moment of my life so far, and the time that would ultimately, I realize upon reflection now, define me and help be my liberation as a human being. And that was that I got married at the age of 22. I'm now 30. And after about 7 years into that relationship, she left. And it was not my initiation, it was completely hers. And with her went my whole sense of identity in this world. And to be completely honest with you, I had nothing. I literally had no money. I had no vision of the future. I had no, like, anything. And I had nothing and I felt like nothing, is what I say. And in this time where she was basically exiting the relationship and I was starting to come to this kind of damning, terrible, overwhelming realization, wrought with confusion, shame, fear, like every possible difficult emotion you can kind of imagine, all sandwiched in together at once. At this moment, I knew that I just had to have something to get me out of my head. I've tried so many things before to sort of do stuff. I've done little bits of breath work, like short things. I've done yoga, meditation, journaling, self-talk, movement, exercise, everything, like you can name it. I've tried it all to sort of like scratch into the surface. And I just was like, I'd recently done a different thing called ecstatic dance. So I kind of had opened up my mind to trying different things. And so I searched in this place. I was doing a house sit in the southeast of England for a dog called Woody, really sweet dog for 3 months. I was by myself and she was kind of off doing her own thing and essentially leaving. I was coming to realize. And at this time where my whole world was collapsing, I just was like, I forget what I even searched. I think I just searched events near me in Canterbury. I was in at the time, and then by some will of God, I just found a breathwork session. It was like group in-person breathwork session, 90 minutes with a facilitator. And I had done like short practices like what you've all just done there. I've done plenty before. There's Wim Hof, and many of you have heard of him, this type of stuff. And it's powerful and it's cool and it changes the state, right? But I was like, 90 minutes? That's a long time to be breathing. Holy crap. Like, what's that about? Let's go give that a check. And so I went along and it was in this upstairs of this dusty little like kind of weird Canterbury umbrella community center with computers all around and sort of like it's not what your flashy bougie kind of like wellnessy space you'd imagine. It was just sort of all thrown together. But this beautiful guy called Carson led this beautiful session. He guided us through similar to what I've just done there with you all lying down on mats, and I just breathed and breathed and breathed and breathed for nigh on an hour. And then it got to a point and the music changed and the music can be so powerful and it just tilted into a soft, serene. I can almost give you the exact song. I remember it was by Ludovico Einaudi, a beautiful piece. I forget the name of the song, but if you know Ludovico, you know it's very emotional music. Yeah, David, big thumbs up there. He gets it. And and this just switched and just I just cracked. I just cracked and all of this emotion just started flooding through and it was not only like the grief of what I was going through and the fact that this person who I loved so much and given so much of my life to is leaving. It was starting to scratch deeper than that. And I went back two more times the next 2 weeks. Exactly the same thing happened. Just cracked me wide open. Just emotion flooding through, flooding through. And that started the process of opening up. Long story short, I went from there. I told that facilitator what was happening in my life in the whole context. And then I went out to lunch with him. He told me that he used to live in Bali. And then something came alive in me as he told me that. And he said, I was like, what does a guy got to do to go to Bali? I had no money, nothing. I just had credit cards. And he said, well, I know this guy over there. He's pretty cool. I can put you in touch with him. He does these 3 week deep dive training experience things. And I was like, all right, yeah, cool, I'll do it. And so he did that. And long story short, that took me to Bali. Launched over there with no money, no plan, no nothing, just a lot of faith, a lot of trust in the unknown, and a seed of hope through finding something that touched me very deeply. And then I trained to facilitate the same thing, and here we are. There's more to the story, but that's kind of it in a fairly short version. So yeah, I'm a big believer in the power of breath work. For me, I was just so stuck in my head my whole life. I was taught from day dot to suppress my emotions, sweep it under the rug, to walk on eggshells around a very dominating and kind of angry father who just had no space and wasn't really a protector and a provider, and very quickly had to learn to keep it all stuffed inside, and that it wasn't, if you're expressing emotion as a man, you're weak or you're powerless or you're, girly or gay, even, was thrown around back in the northeast of England where I grew up. It was pretty rough. So I had a whole lot of stuff to get up, and boy, did a lot of emotion come up after that through so many breathwork sessions, and just cleared out the nervous system. And that's what it does really. You have this charge, this stuff stuck in the body, the tension that gets, when we suppress emotion, that goes somewhere. That energy stays stuck in there in the fascia of our body. And until we mobilize it somehow, until we move it through and give it expression, the expression that we would have naturally usually done in childhood, as you see kids just scream and cry and do whatever they need to shake their bodies and move it out of them, their feelings, then, well, they get stuck. And then we find ourselves very shut down indeed. So that was my journey. Thanks for asking, Zane.
Yeah. Thanks so much for sharing that, Sam. I feel I feel like everyone has a story of a moment, but it's so important that I don't know. I feel like the people who end up getting over to the side of, other side of those, they find something in that moment that's of a positive nature that they can sink their teeth into that really resonates and is what they've been looking for over that period of time. And interesting about the shaking, I didn't know this about breath work until really lately, that animals in the wild, if you ever see them get chased by like a lion or something like a zebra, when they finally escape the lion, they shake. And what they're doing is they're literally shaking that experience or shaking that thing out of their nervous system rather than keeping it bottled up within themselves so that they don't hold on to it. Because, I don't know if you've ever seen a zebra. It would be stressful being a zebra. Like literally a lion could try and eat you at any time. Like how they even sleep, I have no idea. And they're just sitting there, just chilling. Then a lion comes, oh, here we go again. And they go through this whole thing, and then afterwards they just shake it off. And I was like, okay, Taylor Swift was onto something.
Love that. Yeah.
But yeah, during breathworks, I don't know if anyone ever, if you ever do breathwork and you feel the impulse to shake, don't fight it. Like the
Mm.
first time I did, I felt like this uncontrollable shaking come up when I did a deep one. I'm like, well, that's weird. Don't do that. There's people watching you. And then the second time I was like, okay, I found out that, you can let yourself shake. And yeah, it was a really, really powerful experience to shake it off and let it out.
Hmm. Yeah.
Amazing. Thanks for asking that question, Zane. All right. Now, I haven't had a look at the thing. Does anyone else have a question or something that they'd like to share before we finish up for today? Nope. Amazing. That's okay. That's all good. That's perfect. Sam, would you like to share a little bit about if people want to work with you, if they want to, if you've got any things that you can, recommend or give to them?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, David. Well, yeah, it's actually an interesting little kind of a marketing vacation, this one, I guess. I've been pretty quiet and pretty off the radar, to be honest, with my work in this realm for probably the past year. Um, Bits and pieces here and there I've done, but I guess with doing this, I decided within me that it's time to do something. It's time to share the work and time to be of service in the world again and use these powerful tools. And I don't know about you, but just the state of the world right now, it really it sometimes grieves me, it shocks me, it kind of concerns me, and especially for me, men as well. And my story is, I can only speak to the experience of being a man and seeing what I see out in the world at the moment. And I've come to believe that we as men really hold, I believe, the key to the next step of the healing of humanity, which is to stop being perpetrators and start being protectors. And that requires a lot of healing. And what we're seeing is a lot of very hurt, broken, unsafe, and dysregulated men out in the world who are causing a lot of harm. And so, um, yeah, really, only in the past couple of days, as I've been thinking, what am I going to do here? Like, I've decided that I'd like to start working with men. So, if you're a man here, then I'm obviously not excluding you, ladies. If you want to stay connected to me in my work, absolutely, that's so fine. I love that. But particularly if you're a man and if you'd like to go deeper, then yeah, let's stay connected after this. Um, because you're all lucky and you stay to the end. I do, like I say, I've got a recorded audio of exactly just what I took you through, that future self-guided thing. It's 30 minutes in duration, so it actually goes a little bit longer. And this would be a really powerful practice if you want to just sort of every now and then do it, maybe every day. If you made a daily practice, it's amazing. But probably for me, I'd probably more likely do it kind of like weekly, this type of thing. But yeah, I'd love to give you that for free if you wish. In exchange, if you want to stay in touch and with me, then you can maybe, I don't know how we could do this, but just exchange email, and I can also keep you up to date with what I'm doing. I'm going to start to email out regularly, and just love to start just to offer more stories, more tools through breathing, more insight, and just try and yeah, just cultivate a bit of a regular thing there. So if you're interested in that, then I guess I'll arrange with David somehow to make that happen. If you want, I'm also on Instagram. I haven't been very active, but I will be more. I can type my name in here. I am Seo Rat because it's a little bit tricky. That there, that's if you search that, you'll find me on Instagram, and you can follow me there and just what's going on. Um, and yeah, they'd be the two main ways. I was going to get around to setting up a WhatsApp group, but I didn't quite get to that today. But that will be to come in time. But those are the two main things. But I'd love to
Perfect.
offer you that free gift if anyone's interested. You can. How would be the best way to do that, David? If they wanted
Well,
to do that, have
if
you got an
you
idea?
want, I was going to say we do have a WhatsApp group for Mindset Mondays.
Oh, perfect.
I might just put that into the chat. Sam
Yeah,
is going to maybe, I'm not sure if you're in that group yet, Sam, but you can join that. And if you want, you can connect with Sam through that WhatsApp group.
awesome. Yeah,
So if you're on WhatsApp, or you can go with Instagram, send him a message personally and just say, hey, Sam, enjoyed the birth work, would love the recording. And Sam will be able to connect with you that way.
yeah, awesome. I'll put
Perfect.
a post in there as well, and I'll set something up in the next couple of days for those who are
Amazing.
interested, and then just yeah, just reach out and I'll hook you up.
Perfect. Sounds good. And for everyone else, if you're not in the WhatsApp group, that's completely fine. You can join Drew via that link. Every week we do a challenge, like a journaling challenge. This week I might have a bit of a talk with Sam in tonight and just get something of a 5 minute breath work or something like that, a breathing exercise that you can also supplement the journaling with. And we'll get that out to you tomorrow as part of the weekly challenge that we do in our group. Other than that, thanks so much for staying on today, guys. Bearing with us when we were having a bit of technical problems at the start. We got it sorted eventually. But thank you so much for coming, bringing great energy, participating. I really do hope that you enjoyed it. I'm also going to put in the chat if you want to help out with the meetup fees, like if you want to do a PayPal donation, there's a link. Please don't feel you have to, but just to keep the meetup group, I'm trying to get better at receiving because people always were saying to me, "Hey, Dave, how can I help out?" I'm like, if you want to help out, it's $15 a week or something to keep a meetup group these days. So if you want to help out with that, that would be amazing. And also, if you do want to see a session of some type, here is a Microsoft form. I'm just going to put it in the chat as well. This is where you can go give anonymous feedback, even suggest the kind of guests you would like to see on here. We'll be doing the same Mindset Mondays, which is talk about a topic like, I don't know, self-confidence, then do 10 minutes of journaling, 15 minutes of guided visualization. From next week onwards, we'll do that for a bit, but I am looking to get maybe a guest every month. So if you'd even like to be a presenter and would like to tell me about what it is that you do yourself, you can go to that Microsoft form and fill that out. And yeah, that way we can keep making these sessions weekly. We can keep making them better, more impactful, and get more and more people involved. Other than that, thanks so much, guys, for coming out. I'm just going to say this because 3 years ago, it took me a year to get the confidence to make up this group. It took me a year to be like, oh, no one's going to come. What are you talking about? And I just had a look at the stats of our meetup group over the last 3 years. And the first year, the members kind of went like this. Then it got to about the second year, and I started really up leveling myself, doing coaching more and more. Suddenly, the members went like this, and today we just passed. I think it's 1,820 members and 700 5-star reviews. Now, and over the last 3 months, I've had top organizer badge or something for doing this. Now, think we've missed 3 sessions in 3 and a bit years. So that consistency really does pay off. So this was a vision of mine 4 years ago where I wanted to have a weekly thing, bring people together, work on their mindsets, and now it's a reality. And it's consistent real part of my week, and I absolutely love it. So if you're sitting there and you've got some kind of idea that's come to you, maybe in the breath work, maybe there's something you want to do that you want to become consistent at, whether it's gym, whether it's a business idea, whether it's starting a run club or something that just won't leave, an idea that won't leave you alone. I'd like to invite you to entertain that this week, move towards it, see what it looks like, feel into it, and just see what comes from it. There's a one of my sayings that every now and then, just because on the weekend my cat died, and it kind of got me thinking about how short life is. I've been wanting to play golf with my dad for 2 months, keep putting it off. So next weekend I'm playing golf with my dad. Maybe there's something that you have. I think sometimes when you're faced with death and you see, especially when you're sitting there holding your cat and it passes in front of you and you realize that's it. Then you look at social media and everything seems like BS in comparison to what love and compassion and following a dream and support and community, all these things are just so beautiful that you don't realize how precious they are until they're gone. And there's a saying that I heard once, and it was most people tiptoe their way through life hoping to make it safely to death. Don't tiptoe. Don't be that person who gets to the end of their life and, oh, I had that idea, had that thing I wanted to do. Don't even wait to the end of this year. We have no idea how much time we have left. If there's something you want to do, this is your invitation to breathe into it, get your nervous system excited about it, use techniques that come to you, whatever it is that you've got at your disposal, and just feel into it, surrender to it. There's another line I love, which is, I'm grateful to the idea that has used me. This group, I've put hours and hours into it every week for a very long time, and I'm so grateful for having that opportunity. It hasn't been easy. People have come, they've said these sessions weren't good for whatever reasons. Had people say, what are you doing? You don't, why are you even wasting your time doing that? Those are the people I do not want to listen to. So if you've got anyone who believes in you right now, maybe it's just your own higher self, listen to them because they have your best intentions at heart. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Sam, is there anything you'd like to say to close out today's session?
No, just thank you all so much for being here. Really appreciate it. And honestly, to just frame and also what David said about, doing the thing and doing it now, like, in my opinion, to be totally authentic with you, that was like a 3 out of 10 from my part in terms of like what I know myself to be as a facilitator. Like it was great. But I like the idea that I feel, and you may think differently, that's so fine, but I feel like I suck there. But you know what? I'm like, great. You got to suck at something when you start, right? Like, ain't no one going to be like amazing when they first start out at something. So I'm going away, and I'm very grateful to you all for giving me the opportunity to suck at something and be new at it, but like offer you something in that vein. So absolutely, yeah. I hope you all got something from that, and um, yeah, go after your dreams. You're all worth it. You're all beautiful people, and together, these little small things that we can do, it really can make a big difference, and it's important now in this time. So thank you all. So much love to you all. Thank you, David, again for having me.
Beautiful. Thanks so much, Sam. I love that saying. Before you can be great, you've got to be good. Before you can be good, you're most likely going to be bad. Before you can be bad, you've got to do something. All right, guys. On that note, thanks again for coming. Have a beautiful week. Don't forget to breathe. Bring yourself into that balance, into that presence. There's a beautiful world that's going on all around us at any moment, and you can tap into it by just slowing down, appreciating it. And I like that thing that Sam said, look around your surroundings. You are safe. You are good. All right,
Mm.
beautiful guys. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks, guys. See you.
Bye.